and we are happy to welcome the Director of Innovation from Eutelsat, Antonio Arcidiacono. Please. And you will not spend more time than half an hour, I guess.
Yeah.
Here's a timer running.
Yep. Yeah. So, good evening. I mean, I'm sure you are now in good shape to listen to the smart LNB, even if a little bit tired probably because it's the end of the day. So I will try to be brief, but also, so you are seeing that there are things done. We are building some demonstration because we want to show you something live about the smart LNB, but to make the story a little shorter, I will go straight into my presentation. So, why do we innovate? I mean, this is one of the things that is important for us, and you have heard along the day and this afternoon the word innovation repeated more and more. We do it because we want to improve our customer experience, we want to guarantee best quality and possibly reducing costs in some cases, in some others not. And to serve more markets. But the main thing is quality, and we have been listening to this fantastic discussion about 4K, and in a moment I will make my little remark about this also. Now, for the sake of time, I will skip my discussion about why we innovate, and I go straight into this slide. This slide to say that in the last 20 years, 30 years since we started, but 20 years in the world of broadcasting, we have been innovating quite a lot. And Helmut knows this very well because he was one of the founders, as well as I were, 20 years ago of the DVB. And when we started DVB, I can say that this was not extremely, say, welcome in some fora, because there was a standard called MAC, D2 MAC, HD MAC, and I was even, say, challenged by my former big boss in the company to say, no, this is not the thing to do. You should not do digital television. It will not happen before the year 2000. Don't worry. It will be HD MAC, forget it. So in our reflections about the future and what we do for innovation, we should be very careful because this could be changing quite rapidly. So we started in '95 with the first digital TV bouquet. It was a Viacom multiplex that we were transmitting. And this has made us go from the 12 channels we had in 1990 to the 4,600, 700, whatever, and counting that we have in our satellites today. And that's what has happened very, very quickly. And why? Simply because for the first time we managed to sit all together, to have a single standard, a good one, and to have this spread all over the world. Today, if I'm not mistaken, Helmut can correct me if I'm wrong, there are more than 1 billion receivers, DVB receivers in the world, which is quite a big success. And then we kept on going with the marriage, for example, between DVB and IP. We did this in 1997 in technical terms. It is happening today. So it took another, say, 10, 15 years before we managed to make it into a real product, into a real something that could be deployed into the market. But the vision was there already at the time. And then we went into HD, and HD has been very successful, but still, today we have only 10% of our channels in HD compared to all other channels that are in SD. So innovation is necessary, innovation is something good to provide quality, but it evolves then with the rhythm of the market. So the story of the trains, the first train, the second train, and so on, that's something that does make quite a lot of sense. And very recently, what we did at the last IBC, we presented the smart LNB. Why the smart LNB? I mean, the smart LNB is to transform the satellite broadcast experience into a connected experience. Our vision is that in 10 years from now, there will not be anymore any standard LNB in the market, the one that are just receiving one way the signal and transferring it into a set-top box, but there will be only, the new ones will only be smart LNBs. So LNBs that are able to receive, decode, distribute into IP format, very likely, and transmit back data so that all interactivity functions can be implemented. So here you see how this is evolving in general terms. So that the set-top box, the home gateway is receiving, and we have all sorts of services that are becoming connected. But how comes that this connected TV has happened only today and didn't happen before in the market? I consider that this is due to a very simple thing that happened in 2010, the arrival of the tablets. The tablet is the best remote control that has been invented so far. And this is the reason why in the drawings that were shown by Phil Levin about the penetration in UK of interactivity, the one that was growing was the one with the tablet, and the one of the connected TV was not growing, because you have a remote. You want to do interactive TV with a remote? Try it. After 5 minutes, you throw it in the wall because you get mad. I mean, you start writing one word and then it's very slow. It's not done for interactivity. So the real innovation has been the arrival of tablets. Tablets have made you have a remote control in your hands, which was good enough to write, to interact, to search, to surf, to have a real interactive experience. And this is already paying a lot, and the target has been very, very successful. Depending upon markets, we have penetrations in between 45 and 98% of people watching television having a tablet in their hands. I mean, it's enormous success, the marriage of the two. So this has made interactivity and connectivity a success. But this is also corresponding to another phenomenon. The other phenomenon is what was presented this morning about the fact that the big companies in the IP world are looking towards television. Mary Meeker, has been said this morning, put this number 3 in the list of priorities for the developments in the near future. And this is one key element. If companies like Apple, Amazon, Google are investing billions of dollars in this field, these companies are driving the market into a specific direction, which is difficult to ignore. And when listening to the discussion about 4K, I think there is one element that has been forgotten for a moment. We are not in an isolated world. John Adams said it at the moment. He just mentioned it. He didn't want to be too much aggressive about this. But when Netflix is presenting 4K in Las Vegas, it means that he's going to do it. And if they are going to do it, and Apple is going to do it, and Amazon is going to do it, first of all, John will be very happy because he will sell TV screens. But it means that 4K is going to become a reality, whatever we want to do. I was recently, 2 weeks ago, in a conference in London, and people there, the people of the British Film Institute, so the people that are in the middle of this discussion for the content generation, they said, 4K is not necessary, but is inevitable. I mean, that's quite a statement, because it means, as we have all said, I mean, we could live with the 2K for quite a while, but in reality, 4K is going to happen. So if we want to stay on the forefront of quality, we need to be ready to provide the 4K and to be able to deliver it, and satellite is the best way to do it. Back to the smart LNB. So there is increasing demand for nonlinear services. There is this multi-screen behavior that is happening today. There is this marriage between interactivity and social networks. In reality, when you look at Twitter, Twitter is a broadcasting system, seen from the functional point of view. So these two markets are by force going in the same direction. They are attacking the same people. So this is the direction in which we expect to go, and we need to have interactivity. And we cannot, from the satellite point of view, stay in a world where we are only one way. We need to be there and to be able to exchange information with the end customers in all possible forms. And we need to be able to use the investments done by the big players that are developing applications that are in the interactive area, that are using DRMs and so on, to be able to grow our market as much as we can, piggybacking on the monies that are spent on the other side. So this is something of the, say, generic vision for the need of the smart LNB. And this is something that we need to prepare if we want to be at the top of quality level and to be able to deliver to the market what the market is looking for. So in these slides there is too much text, but said so already many things of what is written in here. What is a smart LNB? Then the smart LNB, you see here, there is, this is a prototype of the smart LNB. It's a normal LNB. The final version of this, you will see it in a few months. I will explain it in a moment. It will be just about 1/3 of the volume of this one. So don't be scared that this is because it's a prototype, and because in the prototype we wanted to have all the outputs. We have Ethernet output to be able to send data using the IP format in the whole house, but we also have coaxial output, which is multiplexing the legacy IF part of the signal that is going to the home, as has been for the last 20 years, plus the Ethernet over cable. So when we install, we don't need to change the cable from the antenna on the roof to the home, which is the most complex part. And then we have wireless extension for other applications like machine-to-machine and things like this that I will explain in a moment. Now, if we can go back to to the slides, what can we do with the smart LNB? We can do payment transactions. The moment we are able to do two-way communication, we are able to do subscription of new offers. We can, you can subscribe to new channels. You can pay for services. You can develop services like push video on demand in a full satellite-based solution. So you have, and I will show you in a moment, this working live via satellite. You will be able to send, for example, a medium tail offer of 1,000 titles per month using the satellite, and then people will be able to, just by using the satellite reception, to select among those titles, pay for the title, and get the film for their fruition. You can do multi-screen. Inside the smart LNB, there is an IP router, so it receives, it demodulates, and then routes the signal to the home. So the idea is that through the smart LNB, you will be able to serve 2, 3, 4 screens for TV sets. You can serve tablets, and all of those at the best speed and with a guaranteed quality, what is not possible and will not be possible for a long time using the terrestrial network. So this is another element which is key in the smart LNB. We use, as I said, DRM as it is already today existing. We don't need to invent anything new because we have a full IP stack, fully standard to use. We can integrate with the Twitter, Facebook of applications. The smart LNB is able to transmit back at 100 kilobits per second. This is not done to do internet access, but is good enough to do social networking and this kind of applications. This is done because we want to keep the cost of this device as low as possible to be compatible with the consumer market. I will tell you in a moment that this will cost, I will tell you in a moment. And then end customer intelligence, that's another interesting element that we had thought of, but we have discovered is even more important for you, the broadcasters. The moment you have a return link, you can see and know what your people are watching, what they prefer, and you can create an offer that is adapted better for your customers. And then, last but not least for us as Eutelsat, I mean, you are broadcasters, but for us this is important too. We serve today more than 200 million homes, but we are serving those 200 million homes with entertainment services. Tomorrow, we would like to serve them for home automation, for e-health services and things like this. By the moment you have a smart LNB installed in your home, you have a two-way communication that is there for free for your machine-to-machine communication. So with the same device on your roof that you use for interactivity for television, you can develop those home automation and other applications. But this is not the focus of the presentation today, so I will not say much more about this. So price. The cost of this receiving and distributing and transmitting device, the target we have put is $40 per unit. So something which is compatible with the consumer market, something which is not of the class of VSAT terminals and can be distributed in millions, tens of millions units. You can use a standard DVB compatible dish that is like an 80 centimeter dish that you are using today and reuse the existing cable. Now, how comes that we are pushing this today and we didn't do it 5 years ago? First reason is because today the demand is there for connected TV services, and as I said, this has been born in 2010 thanks to the arrival of the tablets, of the smartphones, and this kind of device that really provide you the ability to interact. And it's not a surprise that a few weeks ago, Google abandoned the idea of Google TV and went into the Chromecast, which is going exactly in the same direction. What they've discovered, big surprise, is that a Google TV box remains linked to an environment with a remote control, somehow cumbersome. They went to Chromecast, where you put the Chromecast, but the intelligence remains in the tablet. And that's a typical direction because they finally realized that this is the kind of environment where you can really play interactivity. The second reason why we can do this today and we could not do it in the past is linked to the availability of technology. Today, we have technology available that was not available before. The key ones being, one is chipsets that are compatible with outdoor use. For a long time, the chipsets were working between 0 and 40 degrees. Today, manufacturers are producing chipsets that can work between -40 and +85, which is necessary when you have an antenna dish that you want to use from the middle of Russia to the middle of the desert. So this is something that was key and was necessary to be available, otherwise we will not be able to do it. Another key technology is the technology for transmitting in Ka band with a chipset that was able to cost very low price. This is another important element. We are going to transmit with 100 milliwatts in Ka band from this smart LNB, is receiving in Ku and transmitting back in Ka or in C band, or tomorrow maybe also in Ku band. But the Ka band is the most interesting one, and that's where is the third reason, which is very important. We have made two big improvements in terms of cost for delivering and connecting your smart LNB for your application. The two elements are, one, the arrival of multi-spot satellites like the KA-SAT, where the cost per megabit for your return link is divided by 10 when compared with the big coverage in Ku band. And this is simply a matter of physics because we are concentrating power more, and so we are exploiting better the resource in the satellite. And the second reason is the fact that on top of this 10 times advantage linked to the HTS, as they are called, high throughput satellites, the one which are multi-spot, we have developed an access scheme for the messaging in the return link, which is 10 times better than what was existing before in the market. So we have developed a new technique to send the data back from different points in an asynchronous way. In the past, the efficiency of this system was in the order of 0.1, 0.15 bits per second per hertz. We are today between 1.2 and 1.5 bits per second per hertz. So this is a factor of 10 in terms of advantage. Why do I say all this? I say all this to come to a very simple conclusion. The cost for the service to be connected full-time with your customer is in the order of few euros per year per customer. This is not comparable with what you would need to pay if you want to have broadband connectivity, of course, because this is, say, narrowband connectivity that you have, but it's compatible with the consumer market. And this was possible and feasible because we had all these advantages in terms of multi-spot and in terms of, say, the technology that we have developed that is specific to this application. The other element that is important when reducing the cost, so is the cost of the equipment and the cost of the traffic that provides for a business model where you can provide a service that can be scaled to tens of millions, hundreds of millions of users. Because if we are so effective in using the link back, to give you an example, on the KA-SAT we have 20 gigahertz of bandwidth for the return link. And if we are at 1.5, to make the calculation easy, bits per second per hertz, it means that I have 30 gigabit of bandwidth that I can use to convey all the data back from my customers. So this is scalable to the tens of millions, to few hundreds of millions of users with a single satellite. So this is something that is really repeating what has been the big success factor for us in broadcasting. The big success factor for us in satellite broadcasting is the fact that for every additional user, you paid 0. That's the real key of the satellite success. The first customer, you pay a lot because you pay for him for the full capacity. But then, when you go broadcast, you have marginal cost per additional user 0. Here, in the return link, is not 0, but it's not very far from 0. So that's why we believe that now we can launch this technology and serve the market in the best possible way. What did I forget? The schedule. So we have prototypes. Here on the roof, we have installed an 80-centimeter dish. The 80-centimeter dish is connected to what I will show you in a moment in terms of light demonstration. This is being industrialized at the moment. In March, we will have the full industrialized product coming from 2 different design shops. And we expect the first commercial launch of those services in 12 months from now, so for the end of next year. I'm just adding one little detail about the 4K and the smart LNB, because I knew that there was a 4K session before. I wanted to add one little element. In 4K, you will be using HDMI 2.0 to connect the set-top box to the TV, but maybe in this TV set, in the smart TV, you will have the decoder inside with a DRM. Should this be the case, then you just need the smart LNB that is connected to the IP network of the home, connected to the smart TV, and you can manage your content in 4K directly to the TV set and exchange the keys via the DRM, and that's done. So this may be one thing to see in the coming years. And now, let's show it live. So you will have it outside as much as you like during the coffee breaks to see it, to have personal demonstration. But I thought that the demonstration here would be interesting for you in the room. So I will show you 4 examples of what can be done. Then the rest, I'm sure you will be able to imagine yourself in many possible ways. So the first one is a very simple demo. I will transmit a tweet from the TV set using a tablet or using a remote, I don't remember, down to the Twitter cloud. And this will go up directly via satellite using the smart LNB return link. I will use it to show a interactive online gaming demonstration. This is to show what can be done in terms of one-to-many experience. You can have a channel that is transmitting an horse racing, a roulette game or whatever, in which you are showing a live event happening. And then you can have people betting using the smart LNB live back. And then you can have results that are received back from the satellite. So you bet, the bet is coming by satellite and going to the service center. Then you have, after a few minutes, this is coming into a, say, result. The result is being transmitted to all the customers in multicast, and there we use also the advantage of the satellite. And this can also, of course, be synchronized with the live program, but the live program will not be shown here because we didn't have the time to do it. I will show you the multi-screen video on demand demo, where I will show you the push VOD part plus the interactivity using the smart LNB. So the movies are broadcasted via satellite and stored in an hard disk. Hard disks are bigger and bigger for the same low cost the more we go. So several thousand titles can be imagined in the coming years can be stored in an hard disk. Then if you want to order a film, the order goes straight via satellite, and the DRM keys are coming back to the tablet or to the screen, and you will be watching this like this. I lost my last slide.
How long will this
It's just another 2 minutes for the demonstration, and we are done. I lost the last slide. The last slide was on the machine-to-machine. You will see it more than me explaining it. So let me now switch on to the demonstrations. Maybe we can start from the... can we have the camera aiming at the TV set so that the people that are not next to the TV set can see it on the big screen? Here we are. So let's start from the Twitter demonstration. So what happened? Yeah. Perché si è spento? The screen died. Huh? Okay, here we are. Demo effect as usual. Set up, we are... huh? Sì. LU, the thing is that the TV set for unknown reasons died, so... yeah, there is one outside, but... yeah, so we are back live. So I will start from this one. So this is the one I was speaking about, the one on betting. So, yeah. Huh? Ça marche pas? It's not working? Yeah, yeah, but this is not. Everything is blocked. So I'm sorry. I think we do it tomorrow morning when we start. I mean, you get a
second chance.
Yeah, yeah.
Second chance. No, but we are running out of time.
I think I know what it is. It is the Wi-Fi in the room that is not working anymore between this one and the gateway on the other side. So we need to find a solution by tomorrow morning.